New Thought Media Network. We are a global broadcast network of positive music, media, and entertainment, inspiring humanity's evolution along the journey of enlightenment and creating a world of love, peace, empowerment, and prosperity for all. New Thought Media Network. Positively inspiring.
Hello, hello. Did you know that the symbolic meaning of autumn is more profound than you think? Who'd have thought? There is more to it than pumpkin spice lattes, pumpkin pie, and Halloween. There's definitely some ancient cultures. There's science and astrology at play here. We must become aware of more and be more mindful about the possibilities of change. We know that change is upon us during this fall season. So the problem could be that we might just not even be aware of it. We just go from day to day and we're just stuck in our routines. We're just going from one thing to the next. And we're not being very conscious or very mindful about who we are, what we're doing, and how we live out each day. That's a question for you. How does each day flow for you? Do you find that you take time in the morning to be mindful and set some intentions for the day? Possibly do a 5 or 10-minute meditation before the kids get out of bed if you're a mom or a dad. It's certainly important for us to take that time to be mindful. And as we move into this fall season, this is a great time and it's a great opportunity for us to shift our thinking and become more mindful about our actions and the way that things are unfolding. And look at the possibility that a lot of times in the fall, life can change. Life changes throughout our entire life, right? That's something that's always happening. But as we're aware of it, we know that it can be possible. There is more change going on behind the scenes than we know. So what we know is while we think of, all the lovely cozy things with the pumpkin pie and such, there is more going on in the universe than meets the eye. Life is constantly changing, and so are we. And how are you dealing with it? That's my question for you. Well, I'm Reverend Lisa, and I am a spiritual life coach, and I'm here today to talk to you a little bit about all these things and being mindful in our lives. And one of the things that we talk about and that popped up in the beginning is you might be curious about the inner dazzle. Well, what is an inner dazzle? The inner dazzle is that innermost part of ourselves that is deeply connected, completely centered, and feeling peaceful and authentic with your life. That inner dazzle is that innermost part of ourselves that is connected to a higher power and that is expressing itself fully in all the different ways in our life, all the different facets in our lives. It is a balanced and peaceful and happy. That is our inner dazzle. And you have an inner dazzle. I have an inner dazzle. And I'm here today to help you to reconnect to it. Yes, yes. So welcome. Hello out there, Facebook and YouTube land. Thank you for joining me here on New Thought Media Network. I'm here today to talk to you just for a little short amount of time. 1 to 1:30 we go, and we just share some wonderful ideas and tips. And I always appreciate your comments and anything that you want to share because that always makes the show more fun and interactive. So I certainly welcome that. So thank you for joining me. And so let's just talk a little bit about it. So I have a quote that I like to start with that I think is so profound. And I really like this. So this is, let me find it. Here we go. So today, remember that life is about change. Some of them are beautiful and some of them might be more difficult. But know that through all of your changes, that it's going to be okay. And this is by Heather Williams. I just appreciated that. I thought that's just a really nice thing because as we create more awareness about the fact that there are changes in our life and that things change all the time, we can just recognize and know that this is just a natural part of life, like fall is, right? This season of fall, We just know that autumn is a time of change. You see the leaves changing and dropping, and you see, the temperatures cooling down and all of those traditional things that we think of when we think of fall. But the truth is that behind the scenes of that also there's a lot going on inside of us, and a lot of things that are going on at work in the world and in the universe, especially right now in this time, after we've been dealing with COVID and all the craziness that's been going on in the world. I really believe that the universe or God has a bigger plan for us, and we just don't know what it is yet. And that there's a lot of chaos and a lot of change going on. And sometimes it's hard because we don't really know what's going on. And I've been experiencing that myself. And I also know for a lot of my friends, I actually went to get my hair done the other day. Do you notice my hair's a little shorter? And my hairdresser and I were talking about it. And she said, I have a lot of my clients right now coming to me, and sometimes they're just in tears and they're like, what is going on with my life? Why are things changing? What's going on? I don't understand. Everything is in chaos. And her and I were talking about that. And it was like, oh my gosh, this is really a theme in the world right now. And that question of why that kept popping up to me. And I said, I ask God why as well with some things. But what I'm learning is that it's not about asking about the why. It's just, it's trusting in the universe, which sometimes is hard, right? But it's like, okay, instead of why, it's what can I do about it, or what can I do differently, and how can I deal with these changes in my life in a positive and productive way? That's the question. And that's kind of what you want to ask, instead of why, God, why are you doing this to me? Maybe it's, now this is coming up and things are changing. Things might be different than what you planned on them being in your life right now. Now is the time to say, okay, well, what can I do? How can I do it? And one of the things that I've learned over the years is one of the best ways to do it really is to sit back, take time to breathe, take time to relax, center yourself into your own space, connect with that inner self. We teach a lot of that in New Thought here at New Thought Media Network. We talk about New Thought, ancient wisdom, working together, and how we take time to meditate. We take time to be still and become quiet and let that inner voice guide us, because we all have that inner guide. We just need to listen to it. That's the key. That is the key for sure. So that's what I ask for you to do, is to think about that. Hello out there. Good to see you. Hi, Diego. Good to see you. Happy day. Happy now. I like that. Happy now. So true. And yes, we are in a segment of great transitions. And that's a great way to look at it, Diego. Thank you so much for that, because I think a lot of times, it's a crazy world right now. That's really the truth. And I think sometimes it can be very challenging, and it's like, what am I going to do with myself? I don't even know what to do right now. So it's just time to step back, check it out, know that we are in some great transitions right now in the world. So it's not only just you experiencing that. A lot of people are going through it. So you're not alone. We are all in this together. And that's why here at New Thought Media Network, we have some great programs that help us reconnect with ourselves, connect with community, connect with other people that are feeling and going through the same thing, so that we're not alone and we're not feeling like we have to deal with everything all by ourselves. So definitely check that out. I invite you all to do that. So wonderful. Thank you for that. I appreciate that. So yeah, and just on that note, and thinking about my experiences with change and all of the things that are happening here in autumn, one of the most important things that I'm noticing a big change in is my daughter. And us moms and dads, I'm sure you know that our children change at a blink of an eye, really. A lot of times, and lately, actually, my daughter walked up to me. She's now like an inch taller than me. And of course, I'm not very tall. I'm like 5'3", so I'm not that tall. But she walked up to me and we measured ourselves. We put our heads back to back. And I went, oh my gosh, my little daughter is taller than me now. So she just turned 13. Big change. We're just coming into some big changes. So it's about, for me to be consciously aware of how do I support her in this change, and her changing and growing into a young woman. That's definitely one thing that I have been aware of. And, in the shifting of school, she's in 8th grade now. Everything is just shifting and just moving at the speed of light, right? Yes. Hi, James. Feeling a shift into introspection. Oh, that's beautiful. Thank you so much for sharing that. that's what it's about. It's really about taking that step back and taking a look and say, okay, let me look at this from a bigger perspective, maybe not from my kind of crazy perspective, but introspective. Thank you for sharing that. Thank you for sharing that, James. Yeah, that's beautiful. I like that idea. Introspection. So, and that's, one of the things about fall that I wanted to talk to you guys about was the idea of really taking time to step back and recognize the change that is going on. And, I say embrace it, but sometimes that's not as easy to do as we think it might be. And it's also about releasing some old habits. There might be some old habits that you've been carrying on. And in that introspection, in taking the time to step back, be the observer, take a look at what's going on in your life and say, okay, maybe I can release some old habits, right? I can release some old things that just aren't serving us anymore. I know I'm definitely kind of dealing with that right now in my own life. It's like, okay, how can I create some new habits here in the fall? I like to walk in the morning, so I'm really trying to set the tone and say, okay, I'm going to make an effort to walk like 3, now that it's cooled down a little bit, with the cooler air, taking a walk. Definitely. I love your examples. If anybody has any other examples, let me know of some ways that you are finding time to be introspective, taking a step back, looking around and observing what's going on around you in your life and observing the change and embracing the change. I have another quote that I wanted to share that's fabulous. And I love, love, love this lady. She is one of my favorites. Let me see if I can find it. Where is it? Where did it go? I know it's in here. Quote 2 from Marianne Williamson. Change is in the air as old patterns fall away and new energies are emerging. Consciously release what needs to be released and welcome with a full embrace with the newness you've prayed for and so richly deserve. That is a good one. Oh my goodness, that's really a good one. Changes in the air. Well, as you know, as we mentioned, changes in the air. Old patterns fall away and new possibilities are among us. That's the good news. That's the great thing about fall. And in the change, we can look at it as an opportunity. It's okay. Opportunity to release the old and move into the new. Definitely. I think that's a great way to look at it. So I have 3 tips that I wanted to talk to you a little bit about. And I know I have it up here. So, the first one is change. We're talking about change. And I was reading a little article and I thought this was really good. I wanted to share this with you guys. So change. So there's a Greek philosopher and he says, the only constant is change. And I love that because as we know, there's really not too much that's constant these days, especially. And that change is a constant. And we need to be aware of that. And this article says, autumn reminds us that our bodies and our minds and our surroundings are always developing. It focuses on the impermanence of life, emphasizing how vital it is to embrace the present. Embrace the present. And by doing so, we can savor what we have before it is gone. So we can savor what we have before it is gone. And I love that. I thought that was beautiful. And I think the other big one, of course, and you guys that have followed me, you know that I talk a lot about living in the moment, being mindful, creating opportunities and ways to be in the moment and be present right here, right now. And I also have a 1-minute pause video that I show on my Instagram, on my YouTube, and on my Facebook page. And you can always go check that out. I'm just going to leave up here. So you can go to my YouTube, Inner Dazzle LLC, and you can go in there and subscribe because I have a lot of 1-minute pause. So when we talk about the idea of embracing the present, this is a great practice. It's a great beginning. Go in there and you can click on, I have several 1-minute pause videos, and it's a great way in the middle of your day. If you're just having a crazy time and you're experiencing change or you're experiencing some chaos, take even 1 minute a day. Just take 1 minute. And a lot of times we do them in the morning and at night. So experience the 1 minute pause and see how it works for you. So you can go to Inner Dazzle LLC, subscribe to that on my YouTube channel, and check out the 1 minute pause. You will love it. It's really great. So yeah, I wanted to talk a little bit about the next tip would be that I wanted to share with you about mystery. So every day is a mystery, and a new day, a new opportunity to live life to the fullest. Love that. This is such a great way for us to be connected and be open to what's possible, right? So thanks to the changing of the sorry, let me try again. Thanks to the changing nature of life, each and every day presents us with new mysteries. Every day can be a mystery, right? We don't know what's going to unfold in this day. We don't know. It's a mystery. It's an unknown. And I liked how they talk about this, because sometimes when it's unknown, it's really scary for me. And I don't like that, because I like things planned and I want things in order. Do you guys feel that way? I like it. I like to feel order. And let's see, Diego. I've recently picked up gardening. Yeah, gardening is a great way. It seems to have a very meditative aspect to it. Oh, I like that. Yeah, gardening is a great thing. I love doing that. Actually, last summer, my girlfriend was cleaning up her yard, and she has a big, beautiful rose garden. And I asked her if I could come over and clean up her rose garden. And it was so meditative, because literally I just got into this zone, and it was like, I just went from one thing to the next, pruning one bush to the next and cleaning and everything. And I was in the zone. It was beautiful. It was like such a great experience. So thank you, Diego, for sharing that, picking up on gardening. Gardening is a great way to be contemplative and just take that time to be still, introspect, like James had said. Wonderful, wonderful. So yes, there's lots of great ways that we can express this. So yeah, the crisp fall air and the changing leaves personify these unknowns. And once we accept the unknowns, we have more capacity to live life to the fullest. That's such a big one. If we can accept the unknowns, we can live life to the fullest. And this is a good one for me, because I've been feeling some stress, and I don't a lot of times live life to the fullest when I'm in that space of not knowing what's next and feeling frustrated about it and not trusting. And I like this last part. It says, after all, it's quite comforting to realize that we are all in the same boat, facing the same sea of mystery. Oh, I love that. All right. So the last one more tip, and then I have a little video for you. And then, yeah, we're just moving right along. So the last tip is about preservation. This is good. So autumn represents the preservation of life and its basic necessities. So during this time, we recognize and know, and I have my little squirrels outside, which I love. I feed them peanuts. They grab them every day. And I know. I had one the other day, and she kept coming back and forth. She wasn't even eating them. She just was coming back and forth. And I don't know where her little tree is, but she ran off with several peanuts. So I know that the harvesting and that the storing of the food is what she's up to. And I like, in this article, it says, during this time of preservation, animals prepare for the winter by storing their food and creating cozy hibernation spaces. And I think we tend to do that too, because I've noticed that I've been pulling out blankets and pillows and stuff for the fall, and getting sweaters back out, and recognizing, all of that wonderful thing. So yes. And then it goes on, the article says that farmers are in the midst of the fall harvest. As we know, we have wonderful, beautiful pumpkins and squash and all kinds of wonderful fall harvest that we can enjoy and participate with. Carving pumpkins and all that great stuff. And I like this. It says we tend to retreat indoors and focus on cultivating safe and comforting home. And the biggest piece with this one I loved was, it says that in a way, autumn season offers us a chance to reconnect with ourselves. It's time to reconnect with yourself. Are you connected to yourself? That's a question for you. This time of the year, autumn season offers us a chance to reconnect with ourselves as we preserve our safe havens and get our home all cozy for the winter. So that is a big question I want you to think about, because it's definitely something we want to be aware of. Is if through this time of change, we must take time to reconnect with ourselves, because as we can become grounded and centered in with that higher power, I use this as my crown chakra reaches to the heavens. We feel that divine energy of love and light and peace, and that energy of God or spirit or universal power, whatever word you might use to be connected with. That's what's so important, is that we take time to reconnect with that powerful source, reconnect with ourselves. So important. All right, so wonderful. I wanted to share those 3 tips: change, mystery, and preservation. Those are the 3 wonderful tips that I have for you. And I also have a little tiny video clip that I wanted to share with you. This is so great. This is great. This is by Wayne Dyer, which a lot of you, I'm sure, are familiar with Wayne Dyer. Listen to what he has to say. It's just a little tiny clip, and listen to this about change.
I remember being in New York City and doing an interview not too long ago, and it was a radio station that had just changed formats. And they had gone from talk radio, which I had done many interviews at this station over the years, to gospel music. And so everybody that was on the staff at this radio station, some 30 people, were all told the day that I was coming there to do an interview that they had all been let go. And everybody was walking around, and they were all depressed, and they were all upset. And every time someone would come up to me and say, "Oh, Wayne, isn't this awful? I've been here for 22 years, and I just lost my job." And I would say, "Congratulations." And they look and say, "What's the matter with you? How could you believe in congratulations? I just lost my job." And I said, "Yes, but within a certain amount of time, probably within a year, you'll be in a place that is much better than where you are now." And it was almost like God was trying to tell you something, but you wouldn't listen. It's time to change. It's time to walk down another street. What is your dream? And you sit down with each one of these people and you ask them, what would you really like to be doing? Rather than working here this particular way. And then most of them said, I'd like to have my own business, or I would like to do some writing over here. I've always had some ideas about writing. One guy said that he wanted to just do an opera. He'd always wanted, and he's been working on an opera like Mr. Holland, remember, in Mr. Holland's Opus. But he could never get himself the courage to do it because he was always going into the radio station every day in New York. And then I saw him about a year and a half after that, and he was getting his opera published, which he couldn't have done if... It's like this intelligence that we think is conspiring against us is something that we have to understand works with us. But you have to have infinite patience and trust. And when you have... And the reason it says... infinite patience produces immediate results. The reason it says this is because the immediate result of your infinite patience is peace. You retreat in peace, and you let the universe handle the details. And after all, that's what it's about, living your life at peace.
Wow. That's such a great, I love that little clip. That is Wayne Dyer, and I love that he talks about infinite patience, and that if we take the time to be present, be still, trust in that higher power, trust in that divine intelligence, as he mentioned, and allow that to lead us. And he said, let the universe figure it out. That's a key element. And it takes faith, it takes trust, it takes that wisdom that we have inside of us to know that there is a higher power working for us. And that is definitely the key. I think that's just a beautiful, beautiful little clip. I love that by Wayne Dyer. So I have one more quote for you, and I just wanted to share this with you. So it says, I cannot say whether things will get better if we change, but what I can say is that they must change if they are to get better. And this is by George C. Lichtenberg. I cannot say whether things will get better if we change, but what I can say is that they must change if they are to get better. I love that. Some beautiful quotes today. So yes, that's what it's all about, is change. And that's the season that we are upon. So I invite you to experience that change with me and just be open to and trusting that all is well in that divine mind. So I appreciate you all being with me today. You can certainly reach out if you are experiencing any challenges. If you want to chat with me, you can email me at lisa@innerdazzle.com. If you want to schedule a 20-minute complimentary session, we can do a little chatting and connecting if you'd like. And as I mentioned, you can go to my YouTube channel, Inner Dazzle LLC, and you can subscribe there for 1-minute pause videos. And these, the shows are on here as well, so you can certainly tune in for that as well. Of course, we always invite you to gift and tithe to our network, New Thought Media Network, as this ministry does grow and thrive off of your gifts and tithes. And we're so grateful and appreciative of that. So you can go to ntmedia.org and click on donate and send us your gifts and tithes so that we can continue to grow. You can also, if you're so inspired by my personal ministry, you can donate or send gifts or tithes to me on Venmo and it's just Rev Lisa 1. You can just pop over there, and I appreciate any gifts or tithes that come my way as well, because we know that the law of reciprocity is working in our life. So as we give, so shall we receive. It all comes back to us. Yes. So let's see. I think that's about it. Oh, you can also connect with me on Facebook. You can go to facebook.com, which you might be in, and just go to spiritual resource or go to my Inner Dazzle page, and you can connect with me there as well if you want to send me a message. So know that our time together is a time of personal empowerment, and I'm so grateful to be here with you and expressing and experiencing this day with you. So thank you for being with me today, and I think that is about it. I'm looking to see anything else. So look forward to next week. We're going to continue this series. We will be talking a little bit about comfort, balance, and letting go. So we're going to just continue the focus for this month of October. We're talking about change and going with the flow as we move through autumn. So that is it for today. And I'm so grateful that you're all here with me. Thank you so much for coming. And I will take care, and we will see you soon. All right. See you next week. Peace and blessings. We'll talk to you soon.
New Thought Media Network is on the rise. We're looking to grow with you. Do you have technical media experience, or perhaps a desire to learn? Are you willing to volunteer your precious time and attention? We share this message to benefit all. If you possess a computer with a camera and a microphone, we will share our knowledge with you. Behind the scenes, or being the star, let us bless our one. Contact us at info@ntmedia.org.